What is going on, 242 students? I don't know which one of these ways you quarantine Sunday, but Anna and I, we quarantine from the beach. Come on. We are, it's gonna blow your mind, we're not an actual beach.
Yeah,
And
sadly.
you might be going, who in the world are these people? So let me introduce myself. My name is Joel, and this is my wife.
I'm Anna.
Or really, I'm her husband.
Yep.
And we're not letting quarantine keep us down. And so we went to the beach. And we're doing your announcements today from the beach, quarantine style. What's your first announcement?
First announcement is a sad one, unfortunately, but prom is canceled.
Are you kidding me?
I know. It's a sad.
Who's prom?
Everybody's prom.
We don't
all across the world.
know this for sure.
Pretty sure.
But we wanted to start off with sad news that maybe your prom gets canceled. And the good news is if your prom gets canceled, we've got you. We are going to hold our first ever 242 student virtual event, and it's going to be a virtual prom.
I'm
all right?
here for it.
Now, couple conditions. One, if your prom actually doesn't get canceled, then we're not holding this because none of y'all are coming to our virtual prom.
Not fair.
If your prom's happening, you're going to be like, I'm going to go to the real prom. However, if your prom does get canceled, we're going to hold a virtual prom with tickets. I mean, you're going to ask people, you're going to get dressed up.
Promposals.
You're going to do promposals. If you've seen the TV show The Circle, which we are not advertising, you'll get little boxes like they get that will equip you for your activities during prom. It is going to be next level, and it's going to be amazing. But that's not the only good news we have. What are you going to say?
I was also just going to say, you guys have a chance to be creative with these promposals this year because you will be able to do what nobody has done before.
Come on.
Virtual
Sick
promposals.
and tired of just like a whiteboard sign.
Yeah, none of that.
That says, go to prom with me.
Get creative.
I'm a football player, a soccer player, kick into prom with me.
Those are cute though too.
They're not that cute.
They're cute.
Here's the second good news. Has nothing to do with anything. We just want to cheer you up. Check out this video. I'm not crying, you're crying. That's a video, yeah, there we go, of Italy and the fact that they've been quarantined forever, but they're still singing together and cheering people up. But that's not all they are doing.
There was a record of a lady, 80-year-old lady that got sung to on her birthday. People were standing outside of her room singing her happy birthday.
What was the record?
That was the record. They wrote it down in history.
Record.
Oh, they recorded
the record.
The record of,
They still sang to her even in quarantine. And here's the deal. A lot of people have birthdays during this time.
I had a birthday.
Last week. And it was sad. We had fun.
It was fun still.
You can make a little cake.
A lot of you guys sent me dancing videos, which was fun.
So this is from 242 students to you if you have a birthday during this time. Hallie, what you got for these students?
Hey everybody, what's up? It's Hallie here, and we are so bummed that if your birthday falls during COVID-19, that we're not going to get to celebrate with you. So today I wanted to take some time to honor you by singing Happy Birthday. Are you ready? Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear anyone whose birthday falls within the next 2, 3, or 4 weeks, because we don't know how long this is going to go on for. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, everyone. Have great birthdays.
Thank you, Hallie, for that video. Hopefully it cheered some students up. You ready to get service going?
I'm ready. Are
Because
you ready?
It is time for extreme interviews with Joel and Anna. What's going on? We've got our intense interview one. Anna, why are we calling them intense interviews?
They're super fast, super quick, answer fast.
And super intense. Our first interviewee, is the Jonah Schrock. He is a senior at Howell High School.
Go Seniors.
6th in the state for wrestling. All conference in football. In fact, he signed with a D3 school, Baldwin Wallace. Jonah, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Joel. How are you?
Great. You ready for an intense interview?
I am.
Better be.
Kick it off, Anna.
Here we go. What's your favorite color?
Green.
How old are you?
17.
How many siblings do you have?
3.
What school do you go to?
Howell High School.
Favorite book of the Bible? Too long.
Jonah.
Oh, Jonah!
Woo! Nice.
Oh, you barely got it. Favorite passage of scripture or verse?
Oh.
Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who empowers me.
Oh, that's a
Nice.
good one, which kicks it off to my next question. Man, you have played football and wrestling in a public school. How do you handle your faith in the locker room?
Good question.
Thanks. Hi.
It's not always easy. It's not always proclaiming my faith. It's just being the right example and being like the role model for people to be smart.
I like
with their
that.
Choices.
Yeah.
Living it as well. What you
Yeah.
got, Anna?
What are you doing now that you're stuck at home for a little while? Are you spending time reading or video games? What's
Favorite
the
video
thing?
game, favorite book?
Probably too much video games. I've been
Okay.
helping my parents get the house put back together, painting walls, building
Wow.
fences.
What a kid.
What video game? New Call of Duty?
Call of Duty and Minecraft.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Okay.
Favorite Netflix show?
Gotta be
Too
Parks
long.
and Rec.
Oh,
you got it.
the
Start.
most important question of them all. Your favorite ice cream.
Oh, that's a good one.
Cookies and cream.
Oh,
Cookies and
I
cream.
agree. That's a
Now
good
let's
one.
talk a little bit about this senior survivor. Jonah, you are speaking to 7 different campuses, a few other student ministries hopping on, all of Michigan, and they don't know what senior survivor at Howell is. What is it?
Senior Survivor. So it's a week-long thing where 14 to 16 seniors spend the week at the high school selling food, doing dumb challenges like the show Survivor, to raise money and raise awareness for local charities around us. This year it's the Special Olympics, and our goal is to try to send 1,000 athletes to the Special Olympics this year.
Wow.
What's your team name?
Team Rockstar.
Team Schrockstar. Jonah
Woo.
Schrockstar. Jonah, you ready for the final round of intense interviews?
I am.
All right, here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, we're going to start super deep. Favorite sibling?
You don't have to answer
Julia.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
Julia!
what a shout out.
Julia.
What a shout out. They only
The
get
little one.
The little one.
harder. What do you want to do when you grow up?
I don't know yet. That's something I'm trying to figure out.
I got one.
Aren't we all?
What are you missing most about high school right now?
Oh man,
That's a hard one.
they're all wanting to hear it.
Oh man, all of the people and the activities going on right now.
I got one final question for you for intense interviews, Jonah. You ready? If you could give
Yep.
any advice, any spiritual advice to 9th grade you, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Stay focused. Don't just give up because things are going well.
I like that.
Stay connected in your faith even though things don't seem that down.
Oh man,
That's good.
this is Team Schrockstar. Give them a flex, Jonah. Let them know. Let them know what's going on here.
Yep.
Team Rockstar, support the red team.
Oh, they saw our secret lights. Support the red team. Hey, we love you. This has been Intense Interviews.
Welcome out to Intense Interviews. The reason we're calling them intense is not because they're speed round like they were in our first interview, but because they're very intense questions.
So let's slow things down. This guest right here, this is Brooke Sennett. She's a 6th grade girls small group leader, but a junior girl at St. Catherine's. She used to go to South Lyon. Now she hates that place. So if you're from South Lyon, sorry about you. No, we love you, South Lyon, and all the other schools that direction. And she
doesn't
also
hate
does hate cats. Is that true, Brooke?
No.
Yeah, I think she said
She
hated
loves
cats.
cats, but Anna and I, we hate cats. Are you ready for Intense Interviews with
Joel and Anna.
Anna, Flip,
And Brooke.
and Brooke? Go!
If you could ask God any question today, what would it be?
If I could ask God any question today,
Oh,
I
man.
think I would ask him something like along the lines of what my purpose is, like why he put me here.
Oh man, it's a good one. All right. Am I rocking this backwards hat?
Ooh, that is intense.
If I could see your hat, I would tell you. Yes, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
100% rocking the backwards
Hat.
hat. No, I got a good one for you. You're talking about purpose. If you had to spend your last day on Earth, if today was your last day on Earth, would you have spent it the same way you are spending today?
Honestly, like, I don't think I would have. And I think I would spend more time with God. Like, I think that if I knew it was my last day, I would spend more time with God, which probably means I just need to spend more time with God.
Tell us the truth, because that is good. Honestly, like, you're about to go meet Jesus. You want to make sure your soul's in the right place.
Yeah.
But also, because I've thought that. You probably thought that. But at the same point, what would you do also that was just only something you could do on Earth? Something just fun, crazy, witty. Let's pretend the quarantine isn't happening right now. What would you be doing?
I want to go skydiving, like,
Oh.
so bad.
Really?
Skydiving. Maybe
Oh
that's
my
why.
goodness.
Maybe that's why it would be your last day on Earth.
She's brave.
Yeah, that's why it would be your last day on Earth,
No.
though, because you skydove.
No, I would.
Scares me. Scares me.
Yeah.
Anna, what you
No, I
got?
don't wanna go
That's
skydiving.
terrifying. What are you most anxious and worried about right now in your life?
I think at this point in my life, like, just in high school, I'm really anxious about my future. I'm really unsure of, like, what I want to do with my life, what God wants me to do with my life, and where I want to go to college, and just, like, how I'm going to honor Him.
I'm sure no one out there resonates with any of that. I'm sure, not at all.
No.
You guys got it
Yeah.
all together, right?
No.
What is a mistake in high school that you just kind of keep going back to?
I think probably the biggest mistake that I keep going back to is just not realizing my self-worth and falling into not seeing myself the way that God does.
That's good, bro.
If you could give advice to hundreds and hundreds of high schoolers watching right now, what would you ask them? Or what would you tell them?
I would tell them probably just not to take themselves so seriously. Like, laugh at yourself every once in a while. It's not that serious because it's just high school.
Especially during the times right now, right?
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Anna, do you have one more?
Yeah. What have you been doing with your time at home? Have you been hanging low? Have you been having a blast? What are you doing?
Well, my brother actually lives in Arkansas, so my whole family rented an RV,
What?
and we drove down to Arkansas to go pick up my brother.
Wow.
Are you in
Oh,
Arkansas
that's
right
really-
now?
All these different campsites.
Oh
and we
my
went horseback
gosh.
riding. So
Stop. And you didn't want to ask me
Yeah.
to come along?
Brooke, we've got to
Say it
finish
again?
intense interviews. Anna says, why didn't she get to come? This is
Oh.
the ending round. So, Brooke, are you in a dating relationship? For the seniors,
I'm
out,
not.
for the people out there. Will you give everyone watching your phone number?
no.
Go ahead.
Good answer, Brooke.
Go ahead. Snapchat?
No. Just say no.
Instagram?
Brooke, stop.
This has been Intense Interviews with Joel.
And Anna.
Come on, we'll see you next week. Here's the deal, you have a story to tell as well. And so we would love it if you've got a story, if you want to be on a future service, why don't you go ahead and shoot your videos into any of your youth pastors, any of your Instagrams, talk to your online small group leader. Let's get this going. I'm tired of just sitting here. I'm ready to dance, get some worship going. You ready for this?
Sure. Let's
Hey,
do
here's
it.
our Taylor Student Worship Band.
Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall. For you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won. For you have never failed me yet. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness. Your faithfulness. promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail me. Yeah. See you move the mountains, and I believe I see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I see you do it again. I see you move the mountains, and I believe I see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I see you do it again. I see you move the mountains, and I believe I see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I see you do it again. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I see you do it again. I see you do it again. Sing, I see you move. I see you move. You move the mountains, and I believe I see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I see you do it again.
From the day I was born, I had one question that plagued my mind, and it wouldn't leave me, so in my late night hours I would try to find a kind of answer to this uncertainty of mine. Do I have worth? So I did all I could to prove that I did. I practiced, I prepared, and I performed. Sometimes I performed well and my worth appreciated, and I knew it because others would tell me. They told me that I mattered, they told me that I was valued, they told me that I was seen. But there was a dark side to these reactions, a cause for personal retraction, a reason that instilled fear behind this glamorous veneer. Sometimes I failed. Sometimes I performed poorly and my worth depreciated, and I knew it because others would tell me. They told me that I messed up, they told me that I had no value, they told me that I was clearly seen, or rather that my mistakes were. So the thought that plagued my mind, it never declined, it only increased like a plus sign. Do I have worth? At times it felt like I did, and other times it felt like I didn't, and I was crushed in the confusion of my chaos. Then that day came. I felt worthless, like a computer that kept crashing, like an engineer that kept rehashing, like a newlywed couple that kept clashing. I was worthless. Or at least I thought I was. Then these words hit me. God doesn't make junk. It was hard to admit because I was completely unfit. I was about to lose it as I heard the words of this skit, the words that would later acquit me. God doesn't make junk. A beautiful creature created in the hands of a magnificent creator, and nothing will change this, past, present, or future. I have worth. I may fail 100 times, I may fail 1,000 times, I may fail 10,000 times, but nothing will change the truth that has liberated this heart of mine, that I have worth. And today, I boldly proclaim the conclusion to the question that crushed me like cancer, that freed me when I found the answer, that I have worth. So do you. Because God has created you with worth.
And you love me through and through and through.
Hey 242 students, it's Misha here in my kitchen, one of the pastors here, and I'm so glad you joined us. I need you to know this. Each and every one of you, you have worth. And I know sometimes it may be hard to feel that, but it's true. God, He gives you worth. He gave you worth when He created you in His image. Look, today we've been doing our best to bring you some joy in the midst of this season where it may be difficult to find joy. But the truth is, all around you, there's stories of people bringing joy in the midst of this coronavirus. And you can actually play a part in that too. You can experience this season with joy. I mean, you could write a letter to somebody. You could create a silly picture and share it on Snapchat, or you could do a TikTok dance. You could create a game to play with your friends on FaceTime, or you could do the things you've maybe seen on social media. Bang pots and pans out your window, sing songs with your neighborhood, or put your Christmas lights up. Here's the deal. We would all be better off to spend less time worrying during this season and more time thinking through how we can bring joy in the midst of all this. We'd be better off praying for wisdom on how to experience this season with joy. That can be really difficult, but luckily, when we turn to God's Word, we have some answers on how we can do that. In fact, James, who was the brother of Jesus, wrote a letter to a group of Christians who were facing death every day, potentially, just for putting their faith in Christ. And here's what he writes to those people. He says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kind." Wait, what? Consider it joy when you face trials? That seems counterintuitive. I don't understand what he means there. So James continues. He says, "For the testing of your faith produces perseverance." What he's saying is this: anytime we go through something difficult for our faith and we come out still with our faith, we still have our faith, but now we also have this other thing called perseverance. So I know you haven't been in math class for a while, but basically the math equation would look like this: faith plus trials equals perseverance. And as I was thinking about that, I was thinking, okay, so I go through a trial and I get some perseverance. That may make me want to stick it out in the midst of a trial, but it doesn't give me joy in the midst of the trial. So James goes on. He says, "Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Now, that's a really interesting perspective for me, because I'm thinking, okay, perseverance, after it's kind of worked its way through our life, it gives us maturity. So it's like when we go through trials in our faith and we get perseverance, it's like the trials cause our faith to grow up. So what James is saying is that the reason we can experience our trials with joy is because it's those exact trials that cause our faith to grow up. So all of this section in the Bible reminds me of a story I heard recently about 3 common kitchen items. We have carrots, eggs, and coffee grounds. And each of these 3 items was put through a trial. The trial was 20 minutes in boiling water. So we put our carrots here, we have eggs here, we have our coffee here. After 20 minutes in the trial, this is what the result was. Though the carrots went in really tough and strong, check this out. After 20 minutes of boiling water, you can just they just crumble. They're they're softened by the boiling water. Eggs. We all know that an egg looks like it has a hard shell, but on the inside it's soft. After 20 minutes in the boiling water, look, the egg doesn't break on the inside because the trial has hardened the inside of the egg. And coffee, well, we know when coffee is added to boiling water, it just makes a delicious, warm, comforting beverage. Here's the deal. In each of these items, the carrots trusted their own strength. The trial changed the carrot. The egg trusted its own strength. The trial changed the egg. But the coffee was different. The coffee changed the trial. The coffee changed the water into something different. May we be people during this season that face our trials with joy in a way that we are the type of people that change the trial. Look, I've seen so many stories right here in Southeast Michigan of people who are doing just that. I saw a story of some people in Whitmore Lake who took a bin of food that they bought at the grocery store and they put it in an area where people don't have a lot of money. Those people, they put a sign on it that said free food, take the food, leave the bin, and they've been refilling that all week, actually for more than a week, helping people out. I saw some people in Monroe. There was a company actually that normally distributes bread to restaurants and hotels. But because of the restaurants and hotels not being in business, they had all this leftover bread, $20,000 worth of bread that they gave to that community. They distributed, and some people from 242 helped make sure that bread got to people in need. And in Ann Arbor, really cool stories. So we've heard so many stories of our healthcare people not having protective equipment, but people were showing up in lines and lines, unloading suitcases of masks and gloves that they had at home that they were giving to the healthcare workers who needed it. Look, those people each were examples of coffee, people changing the water. Can we each consider how we can experience this season, step into it with the joy of Christ, and change the trial for ourselves and someone else? You're going to see a video in a second here. This video is of students, and they're going to share their trials, not the coronavirus, all the other trials that we also go through. And what they're going to do is this thing, it's called a cardboard testimony. First, you're going to see their trial. On one side of the cardboard, they write what they're going through that's difficult. And then you're going to see when you insert the joy of Christ into that trial, how it changes it. And they're going to turn that cardboard around and share what Jesus has done in their life.
Hey students, thanks for joining us for 242 Students Online. Could have been your first experience, hopefully it won't be your last. Hey, we know times can be crazy, and so once a week we want to light up your spirits in whatever way that means and help you take a next step with God. And you can actually take a next step right now. Yes, a virtual next step, but actually a very real next step for you. All you have to do is go to this link right here and we'll get you connected. In fact, it could even mean all you have to do is fill this card out that you join one of our online small groups all across Michigan. We have groups happening and you could be in one of them. Hey, one last thing, next week is one of our theme weeks. Yes, theme weeks. I don't care if you're home by yourself. I don't care if you got to get your grandma or your mom or your little brother to dress up with you, but our theme is U.S. USA, come on. And we love our country, and we're going to rep it, and the entire theme is going to be around USA, and we hope to see you there. Hey, as we end, I'm going to cue to Misha and Brittany, who are currently decorating their house in Christmas lights. For what reason? Only to cheer you up. Check this out. Hey, maybe even drive by it this week. We'll see you next week at 242students.online.
Oh, hey. How's everyone doing? Well, from our family to you 242 students, we just want to say Merry Christmas and bring some joy to your community. We're trying to bring some joy to our neighborhood with Christmas lights. Whether you do Christmas lights or anything else, we hope you bring joy this Christmas season.